Bishop, good to see you again.
Well, good to be back.
Recently, you wrote a column in the Tablet where you outlined some changes in marriage preparation programs that you're going to instill here in the diocese.
Right.
First of all, are the numbers of people coming to the church for weddings up or down?
Well, it's down, certainly over a 10-year trend. It's way down. But the fact of the matter is people are not getting married at all. They're living together. And this is one of the issues we're dealing with. And unfortunately, they've lost the idea of the sacramentality of marriage, because marriage in the church is not about a big reception and costing $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, which some people do spend on receptions and videos and everything else. We've got to return that the sacrament is the sacrament. It's simplicity. It's not just a beautiful ceremony. Mm-hmm. It's a union of two people. So we need to do a lot in that area for making it more simple and to give people opportunities to have wonderful ceremonies that are not expensive. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, in preparing people for marriage, we do have our pre-Cana in the diocese. It's usually a diocesan-run thing. We're trying to figure out how we can bring this back down to the parish level. Mm-hmm. I did that when I was a young priest, and you have good couples that are capable of following up, because when it's a diocesan thing, we have good couples, good preparation, but then there's little follow-up because people are spread out. They're not in the parish. Mm-hmm. So that's the big advantage of pre-Cana in the parish, where people can follow couples, especially the first 5 years, which are the most difficult years for most marriages. Mm-hmm. Another reform we're putting in is this focus inventory, which is a inventory now. It's computerized, much easier to do than it was in the past, where each prospective spouse takes this inventory, and then it's matched up, which tells them their strong points and some of the weaknesses and their compatibility. So pre-marriage counseling can be very helpful. Sometimes it's just things that they ought to understand about one another. Mm-hmm. They never talked about. One of the biggest problems that most people never talk about is money. Who's going to manage the money? We're going to have one checking account or two. Is your money my money, or are we going to put it together? Nobody ever says that before marriage. That's the first fight they have. Mm-hmm. So if you help them understand that when they're engaged, it'll be a lot easier for many couples. This focus also, then, if it's really a problem of incompatibility, we can give pre-marriage counseling to them so they can come to the decision: do we want to marry, or do we have to go through another period of waiting, or maybe we're going to break off the engagement? Mm-hmm. So the earlier the better on this focus. We're training our priests, deacons, and lay people to help us in this. I think we're capable of doing it. We have a lot less marriages. It's not as burdensome as it was. We have a lot of marriages were difficult to do. Mm-hmm. There's also a paper thing then. You had to send it away to be scored, and now everything is computerized, very easy. They take it on their own laptops, and then it comes together much easier. Thank God for the computerized world. It helps a lot.
Yeah. And then some marriages get into trouble after a few years, right. and there are some Catholic programs that we have for troubled marriages. Right?
We do, and we need to expand them. You know, there is a program called Retrovi, which now is in the diocese. Also, the Spanish version is coming to us, where it's a retreat for troubled marriages, where people want to stay together. They need to learn with others what are the ways that they can strengthen their marriage. At the same time, we need offering of Catholic counseling for people who are having marriage difficulties. I was just speaking to Monsignor Lopinto, so we're trying to expand the program, and also to expand that it is around. It's around in both Brooklyn and Queens, and where people can go if they're experiencing these kind of difficulties.
Mm-hmm. And of course, there's always the tribunal that is part of our marriage program here, and if something absolutely just doesn't work, we have that, and we have a pretty modern tribunal here, up to date, right?
Yeah, it's very so. It isn't just if it doesn't work, it's if it never was.
If it never was, right.
Marriage tribunals declare annulments, which means that there never was a complete marriage bond for one reason or another. Some lack on the part of either party. It's not a fault-finding mission. It's to find out what didn't work, what was not a complete marriage bond, and then that's declared by the church. It's not a Catholic divorce. The Holy Father recently issued new guidelines where we can make the process less say onerous, but less time-consuming, because we don't have to go to another tribunal to have our work checked.
Right.
We can have an expedited process, which is not no-fault divorce, as some have characterized it, but rather when both couples come to the realization that there was something lacking and they're both willing to cooperate. It doesn't take that long to do a marriage annulment. Usually it's because one party doesn't want to cooperate. You don't have the witnesses, you don't have the documents. It just takes time. This new process is supposed to be 45 days. Maybe it'll work if everybody has everything in line. That's the problem. It's not the tribunal that takes a lot of time. It's the preparation of the couple to know their story, to write it down, to have witnesses to collaborate it, to find the documents of their marriage, divorce, baptism, all these issues. It takes time for most people, and then it's distasteful. It's not an easy thing to do, to sit down and write your story of my failure, why my marriage failed. Who wants to do that?
That's right.
But that's the problem. We have to encourage people to understand, and they have misconceptions that my children then will be illegitimate in the eyes of the church, which is not true. These are all the issues we're dealing with.
All right. Well, hopefully better preparation.
Okay.
I mean, less people going to the tribunal.
That's right.
Bishop, thanks for being with us today.
You're welcome.